My name is Ellyse Magann and I'm from Magann Public School. My topic is It's Complicated. Have you ever questioned something and had an adult fob you off by sighing and saying, "It's complicated"? Let's face it, "it's complicated" is adult talk, for I don't have the time or energy to explain it to you. How annoying is that? But really, it's important that we discuss the complicated things, because most things in life are complicated. And one of the most complicated issues affecting all of us today is racism. We hear that word a lot, racism. We know it's bad. What exactly is it though? Now I know that everyone's favourite part of a speech is the good old dictionary definition. Well, the dictionary says that racism is prejudice, discrimination or antagonism directed toward a person because of their race. So in other words, already having a negative thought or opinion in your mind about someone of another race, or treating someone from another race as less than or negatively in any way because of their race. How ridiculous! Treating someone differently or badly just because they're from another race. I'm sure you'll all agree with me. Can I have a show of hands? Who here thinks that racism is bad? Everyone. Makes sense. After all, it seems simple enough. Racism is clearly bad. Don't be racist. Problem solved. Well, not quite, because, it's complicated. How so? Well, no one is born racist. It's learned, and often from childhood. Maybe our parents talked about different races in negative ways, or raised us to view certain races as being dirty, criminal, difficult, not willing to become like us, and now we think that way too. Or maybe we know that racism is bad and view ourselves as not racist at all. But an offensive comment or joke, or a bad driver, or some news about a new criminal conviction reveals that we might actually have a deep-set prejudice after all. You see, it's complicated. No one is immune from developing prejudices, and it can happen without us even being fully aware of it. So what's the answer to getting rid of racism? Rioting? Protests? Well, having a good motive for something doesn't necessarily mean that the actions are always okay. For example, how about mass protesting in the middle of a pandemic? Or protests that lead to violence or abuse of law enforcement? You can have good motives in wanting to get rid of racism, but that doesn't make those things okay either. You see, it's complicated. Fortunately, for you and me, some of these bigger issues, the legal ones, aren't for us to solve. But we do have the responsibility to learn about racism, including the complicated parts, like how subtle it can be, or how it can grow in anyone's heart in the form of prejudice. Because while racism is complicated, if all of us, kids included, continue to honestly look into our hearts for any traces of prejudice and work hard to get rid of them, we will make a big difference in the fight against racism. And that part is not complicated.